This video will review working with time entries on your mobile device using iSlips. You will see how to create time entries on your mobile device, and when synced, those time entries will appear in AIM for editing and processing. Before we begin, there's a couple things to be aware of. First, time entries can be created whether you're online or offline. So if you're flying in an airplane or just in an area with no connectivity, time entries can still be entered with ease. Once you reestablish your connection, you can then sync the entries. In addition to having the most recent matters you've worked on for time entry, you'll also have access to all the matters in Perfect Law. So let's start by creating our first time entry. What you're looking at in front of you is the time entry app. You'll see a listing of all the time entries that are pending to be synced, and towards the bottom you'll also see a total count of hours that you currently have entered in for time entry. So to create a new entry, we're going to go ahead and locate the plus sign in the upper right hand corner and go ahead and tap. You'll now be presented with looking up matter information, date, time, and the description for your time entry. Perfect Law now introduces quick search. So now you're able to look up client codes, matter codes, client names, and matter names from one field. So I'll go ahead and tap on matter. And initially I'll see a listing of all the matters that I've recently worked with in AIM for time entry. I can either pick one from the list, or I can simply go ahead and search on the entire system. So I can go ahead and click on Insurance Corporation here, and that will show me the listing. I can also go ahead at the top, type in 86001, and that shows me a listing of every single matter or client code that contains 86001. I can also type in the name, run my search on server, and that gives me all the clients or matters that contain the word Marie. So you can look up by client code, client name, or matter name using one field. And then once you select it and you're ready to go, you just tap it one time and it takes you right back to the entry. Now I have today's date as the default. You can of course change that by tapping on the date. Now the time, you can either manually input the time or you can select your timer. So if I want to go ahead and manually put the time in, I can just tap on time, and I get a keypad that I can put the time in. Now for convenience, you'll notice at the bottom of the keypad, we have preset keys with amounts of time that are pretty popular among the attorneys. So if I just go ahead and put in 0.75 and tap it, it puts in 0.75. I can tap done, and that takes me right back to the time entry. So simple and easy. If you wanted to adjust it, I can tap on it again, tap the clear button, and put in something manually if I'd like. So I can put in 0.95. and tap done as well. So you got a couple different options there. Now to the right hand side, you also have a toggle switch where you can invoke a timer. So I can go ahead and tap that, and at this point now I can go ahead and do something else while I'm tracking the time entry that I'm working with. So I can press the home button, look at a document, review an email, make a phone call, and once I'm finished I can go ahead and tap the timer button again, and that will automatically increase my time based on the duration that I tap the button. If the matter that you're working with requires a task code, you can also go ahead and select your task code that you're working with. And we're going to go ahead and just choose fact investigation here and choose my task code. Next up is the activity code. So I can go ahead and tap activity. And let's say I wanted to use one of these activity codes. So we'll scroll down here to T and choose telephone conference with. Now once I've chosen the activity code, I'm going to go ahead and complete my description. So I'll tap in the description area. Now this time, instead of typing, I want to use my voice. Since most smartphones today support voice dictation, we're going to go ahead and do that. Expert, regarding case information, review details of incident, period. And just like that, my description is in and it's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and tap done now. And at this point, I'm ready to save my time entry. So I'll go ahead and tap save. And you'll now see the time entry listed here. Towards the bottom, you'll see the total number of hours. And from this point, you can create additional time entries, or you can go ahead and edit the existing ones or even duplicate them. So if you'd like to duplicate a time entry and just change some information, you can just simply tap on the entry you'd like to duplicate. And at the bottom, we have a duplicate button here. So I'll go ahead and tap it. I'll choose yes. And now at this point, I can create an entirely new entry based on the previous one that I've selected. Now, if you'd like to delete a time entry, you can just simply swipe to the left, and that will allow you to delete the entry. If you don't want to delete it, you can just tap back on the entry and it comes back. And once you're ready to actually sync this over into Perfect Law, you can just simply tap on the sync button at the bottom and then tap start to initiate your sync. So once the sync takes place, all of the time entries that you've had on your list are now available in AIM for editing and processing. Let's go ahead and take a look what that looks like. So as you can see, I have AIM up and running. I can go ahead and click on the time button, and now I'll see the entry that we've just synced over from iSlips. At this point, I can edit the entry further in AIM if I'd like, or I can go ahead and post it through for final billing. And that is time entry working with iSlips. For more information on videos with iSlips or video-related questions, please contact Perfect Law Software.